What's up, everybody, ladies and gentlemen and ladies? Welcome to episode number 16 of Agree to Disagree Talk. I am your host, Armond Anderson Bell. Joining me tonight, my special guest host, Mr. Adrian Androgny. So, before we get started, like I've done in the past, I'm going to give out my disclaimer, my AKA, bitch, if it don't fly. If it don't apply, let it fly. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this show is geared towards the educating, empowering, and the implementation of voices, thoughts, and points of views from whom by society and sometimes self-standards way of thinking are oftentimes misheard, misunderstood, and badly misrepresented. By no means does this show wish to offend anyone outside of the black male perspective, nor speak for anyone but the host, myself, and my special guest host. We wish to bring attention and awareness of this through our controversial topics of discussion, attempting to change perception from an us versus them and a me against the world attitude to levels of self-awareness, self-evolution, and self-accountability in the hopes of making it a better world and place for us all. Ladies and gentlemen, Agree to Disagree Talk episode number 16 is officially on the docket. I've been off the air for 3 weeks, as you know, so I'm just getting back into things. There's a lot to talk about, but again, I want to say thank you, Adrian, for coming out and guest hosting. You saw the audition thing through, was it LA Casting or was it?
It was through Hollywood Casting.
Hollywood Casting, okay. Wonderful. So thank you for applying. It means a lot, and it worked out because this show tonight. So what I'm going to do with the new format, as you probably already know, I no longer have my former co-host, Mr. Jake Johnson. He has moved on to work on some acting projects, wishing him the best. And so the show is moving on. I'm going to have guest hosts come on sometime, and depending on the topic, it'll vary, what those guest hosts are and who they might be, what their topic of discussion is. Being said that, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsor for the night. Thank you so much, Mr. Trevor David Hutchin and a kid from Brooklyn Production. He is our sponsor for this show. Trevor is somebody who I met a few years ago. I met him. It was a casting I did for a lip sync show. And when I started, I emailed him and said, well, I am a drag queen, and if you're okay with me doing your show, then that's fine. So he said, yeah, that's fine. Come in. I showed him some of my videos, and Trevor saw, my stance. He asked me, would you mind co-hosting the show? I was like, sure. I've hosted other shows in the past. The co-host that we had, it didn't work out. So eventually I ended up hosting the show myself, and from there we did almost every month we had a lip sync show. It was a battle. I liked it because as a drag queen entertainer, it was much different than just doing a drag show. There were straight people performing, coming out and giving their all, and I really liked that. So he and I became friends. So I want to talk about people and their opinions, and I get it. Everyone is entitled to their opinions. Hell, even I have had opinions on certain things. What really bothers me is the knack of respect for a person. I'm still trying to understand, why do people feel that it is okay to disrespect a person and their opinion and their thought by you giving yours? That's really something that I don't understand. And maybe it's just me as an adult. Again, the name of the show is Agree to Disagree Talk. So I'm aware of that, but it just really makes a person look bad when they're not able to see a person and their opinion, but then disrespect them at the same time. So a few of the things that I would like to talk about is Dwayne Wade's daughter. And this is nothing new. It happens every day. But I guess because he's such a public figure in the limelight, it's drawing more attention. It also may have to do with the fact that she is 12 years old. A lot of times people are very misinformed because there's a big difference between sexuality, sexual orientation, and expression. And so they're putting their thoughts, their opinion, she's too young at the time when she was still he. But if I'm not mistaken, she is birthed by Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
So why does it matter so much on what's going on? And the parenting in question some of the people who have had strong opinions can't even take care of the 7 or 8 kids that they got.
Well, yeah, that's the funny part. Well, first off, like I said, she is a child, but she's also human. She can read, she can see, so she sees those comments. I don't know if they let her use the internet and stuff, but I'm sure she does.
Right.
So she can see that, first off, she's human, and like you said, we agree to disagree. And I get that not everyone's going to see the same, not everyone's going to see everything the same. But I was like, can we at least respect her that she's a human and you're saying all these things? And quite honestly, just speaking, they do a hell of a lot raising better than most people I see raising their children. At least, I mean, they're giving her love. Isn't that what parenting is supposed to do? And if she wants to express herself, the thing that people, and me being gay, people always ask me, well, what do you think? What do you think about it? And it's like, well, do you think it's too young to know? Did you know when you were gay? I was like, I've always known. I always knew. I always like to say I was born at 10 o'clock at night because that's when the show starts.
Okay, I get it.
So I was like, yeah, I knew. I knew. So I've always known, and maybe that's what she wants to do. And I just, if that truly what makes you happy, then let her be happy. I would say, just let everyone's so angry. Why is everyone so angry?
And they need to mind their damn business. Like, I'm not really understanding how is it affecting another person by their parenting skills. Like, that's like my thing. I don't have a child, don't want kids. So, but I also know that I can't tell another person how to raise their kids. Just like, and the thing that hurts more is that it's coming from a majority African Americans and blacks. You don't normally see whites this aggressive. You don't see other cultures. It's our own people. And again, you have all these people with all these opinions who can't even raise their kids. They want to bring up the issue, that she's young and she doesn't know.
I get that she's young and that some people around the age of 12, you're a preteen, you're going into that age where everything's a little confusing, going through puberty and all that stuff. So I can understand why they would say that, and that's a valid opinion. But maybe she knows. Maybe she's that mature enough that she knows. And I honestly, I can't speak for her. But I will say if that's what she wants to do, and if that's what her parents are allowing her to do, then why not? And I feel like that's a problem, and especially, by being gay, and especially being black and gay.
Right.
That's the main thing that we face. And I know for me, that was one of my things. Like, where's my family going to, what are they going to say? What are they going to do? What are they going to say? Whatever. And I don't understand in the black community, why is there so much homophobia in the black community when we as black people, we know what it feels like to be discriminated against. So why are you discriminating against another person?
Right. It really comes into play.
Never of that.
Why is another person's parentage so important to you? And again, I've made comments, I've had my own opinion, but I let it go. It's not going to affect me. And I think people are misunderstanding, there is a big difference than identity, because she, as far as I know, from what I know, she hasn't identified that she's had sex when she was a boy as with other boys, or her intentions to have sex, whether it be with a guy or girl. So that's what people are misconfused about.
Well, I think a lot of people don't know the difference between sexual orientation and identifying.
And we have to. It's sad because
it's two different things.
It's two different things. We've had this conversation when the whole issue of when Tank brought up the guy who sucked a couple of dicks a couple of times and didn't, or even as being a drag entertainer, there's a difference. I do not want to be a transgender. I'm very aware of that. But people with limited identity or who try to enforce something else on another person assume the worst. That's the same thing that when people assume that all African Americans are blacks, are criminals, are thieves, are deadbeats. And that's what baffles me. If we know what it feels like, then why are we doing it to other people?
That's the question I want to know.
The call-in number is 323-577-7630. help me help you, help me understand where is this hatred coming from? Because it's not that serious. It really is not. If you, and I don't know if it's a generational disconnect, because I come from the generation where I was taught Black power and Black pride. And a lot of people always want to try to separate the two. I'm a Black man who happens to be same-sex attracted. And those two are intersected. There's no light switch. And when I put one in this place, there's the other. So I know what hatred feels like from an early age. I also know how I don't want other people to treat me because I've been treated. Whether you're from a different race, religion, orientation, or whatever the case may be, you learn tolerance when you don't have it in your life. And that's what I'm understanding. Why is it so important on what this man and this woman, hell, the older brother, Zaire, I know.
Such a touching.
I know for a fact how important it is when you come out of the closet to have the support of your siblings, because once you have the support of your parents and your siblings, quiet is kept. The rest of the world can kiss your ass
because you're like, oh, I got my sisters, my brothers, and rocking with me, my family. Oh, then I'm good. You know,
it's been a long time. I've been out the closet over 25 years, and I remember just thinking, you don't just up and just switch. It's not as simple as saying, oh, today I want cheeseburgers. Today I want hamburgers. It's a long internal process that you go through.
And you feel so free once you're out.
Oh, my God.
Well, hopefully some of y'all watching will be like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and swing that closet right open, because I just feel like there's some people that are still up in there, and I don't understand. Maybe they're full of judgment.
And it is because you see the backlash of what's happening now. And it's not just with sexual orientation and identity. People who want to do things. I was always told, oh, you think you're white. You sound white because I wish to be educated, or I wish to do things that most people who are Black. Like, I always love to swim.
Me too.
But you don't, Black people don't swim. I wish that we can just take that negative thing. Say you don't want to swim because you can't. Say you don't want to experience other cultures, other races, other things because you don't. Don't blame our race. Now, the sad thing is that every nugget of stereotype, there is a small bit of truth. There are several people, heterosexuals mostly, who are criminals, who commit crimes, who are deadbeat daddies, but there's also a small group who are not. So why do we want to lump another group into all that?
Ignorance. That's just what it is. Ignorance.
Right. My diva right here says, why is it still being referred to in the closet? I don't know. Girl, you know me, honey. I've been out the closet, or rather more free. And I don't even know where that term was coined, but I don't think it plays as much in 2020.
No.
It doesn't, because it can be so many different things that we're ashamed of. Like, I love one of my favorite movies is The Greatest Showman.
With Zendaya.
Yeah, well, yes, with Zendaya. Other things where you're learning to embrace yourself, and it's not just sexuality. Ugly Dolls is like one of my favorite movies. With Kelly. Oh my God, that's the song.
The song.
Yeah. I'm broken and it's beautiful. That right there. If you've never seen the movie, Kelly Clarkson she's in the movie as well. But one of the top soundtracks or songs on there is a song called I'm Broken and It's Beautiful. And if you think about it, we're all told that we're not good enough. Some way, somehow, somebody feels that they can tell us or make us feel bad for having a thought or opinion outside of what is quote unquote norm. And when you gain your strength, when you gain your power, then it's a beautiful thing. You learn to love yourself more. I wish more people, and you see other people, you can see they're not happy with themselves in some way, shape, or form. I never understood why there's racism. I never understood why there's, genderism. I just, see, straight people aren't expected to announce that they are straight. That is true. Help me understand what you're saying. You're saying straight people aren't expected to announce. You're right, and that may come with heterosexual privilege, or go back to the backlash that we're talking about what this gay agenda is. I'm still trying to figure that out. If any of my straight friends, male, female, whatever the case may be, are on the line right now, please give me a call, 323-577-7630, because maybe I missed the note. Maybe I missed the part.
Okay, this is what I think. I could be wrong. Mm-hmm. So, someone's probably going to educate us on it. Just like I'm going to educate them on some things. Mm-hmm. But I guess it's because are you saying the gay agenda or the black gay agenda?
Well, I only hear blacks saying. I've never heard it come from whites, or maybe I'm not sure, but
no, I've only heard from black people.
Right. So in response to, I guess this influx, because it's always been there. It's just more accepted. It's more talked about of us being more visible. They're claiming that there is a gay agenda, and that we're trying to turn everybody gay by showing up on television, by just being ourselves, by living our life. This is what I'm thinking. I don't know the rationality, because I would never say anything. There's a female agenda, or there's a big girl agenda.
I never would think that. I never would think that. I mean, this is what I think. I think what people are saying about gay agenda is because, so Lil Nas X, what is it? Whatever the song is, the lonely whatever,
Long Road, or I must say Brokeback Mountain, but
it's some song. I never really. He's really not. I don't really listen to his music, but
they were going in when they thought he was straight. They loved the song. They also tried to make him feel bad because he was a black guy doing country music. And then it went even further when he officially came out the closet. So people weren't happy because he was a black guy doing country music. Then it went even further,
Do what the fuck you want to do. But here's the thing. I think people are saying because as black, since the beginning of time, like black men, powerful, which is... I love being a black man.
I do too.
I love being a black man.
I love being a black man who's also same-sex attracted as well too.
Same. But I think that the narrative from beginning till now is like black men aren't supposed to show weakness, because have you ever seen like when black men cry, they always try to tell you don't cry or stay strong.
Yeah,
it's like,
it was always you're soft.
That's an emotion.
Right.
It's an emotion.
Other races don't do that to their men.
To be angry, that's an emotion. To be it's an emotion. Why are you stifling of someone's emotion to feel sadness or to feel emotion? That's inhuman.
We're taught at an early age not, and it has, even before we've come into our sexual identity or an expression, we're taught that boys don't cry, boys don't do these things. And I'm like, where are these unspoken rules?
I didn't get that roll back.
Right. I didn't. I just, I was always told, oh, you can't hug. Why? If I'm, I come from a hugging family. That's how you show emotions. You say, I love you. But why is that more accepted than the negative connotations of being a black man? Oh, it's okay if you're a robber, you're a thief, you steal, you're an abuser. You're all these things can be done. But if you're same-sex attracted, it's at the bottom of the barrel.
Like I said, I think just it goes back to the beginning of time where I would guess the prototype is to be strong and don't show weakness. And then I guess it's like, especially like, like being in Hollywood and being in movies and going to different auditions and like booking auditions and doing the whole thing. They think that the white, well, this is just what I've heard, that the white man is trying to make us seem to discredit black men.
Right.
Not in the way that trying to discredit the black man as making them seem weak and powerless by making them be like Lil Nas X and to be like Billy Porter or whatever. They're just expressing themselves in their own way, which is fine. And I just think that they think we're forcing that gay agenda out there. Like we're pushing it out there. And it's like, I'm not forcing anyone to do anything. What I force everyone to do is wake up and be fucking happy. And
that's the point. It's like, how can you I was brought up and all around me, there was thugs. There was people who've robbed and steal. I grew up. Exactly. I grew up watching and seeing nothing but heterosexuality on television. You see, it ain't changed shit. So how can you assume that by seeing something on television, it's not like there's a magic touch or a magic cure? It's fear. And I wish people would just say, I don't understand it. I would be more respectful of a person that says, I don't understand being attracted to the same sex. And I get that. That's just because I don't understand what it means to want to be a thug and steal and rob. I'm 41. I've never been to jail. But according to my race, that's a part of who I am.
Well, you know what? That's funny you said that because I've never been in jail either. But But going back to stereotypes, you would assume that two black males that we've been to jail. I've never been to jail. Right. I've never been convicted of a crime or anything. No.
Right. I've
never been to jail. Have I been to a jail to see someone? Yes. Have I been booked into jail? No, never.
Right. We're getting more comments in. Yes, IQ. It's no different when there was an influx of African Americans stepping out and doing things that were predominantly white. Whenever there's a buck against the system, it's always that, when Venus and Serena start doing tennis, when, the whole influx of interracial marriage, which to me it's like, and then we even had the whole with the gay thing. I don't personally want to get married, but it should be available to people who want to. And if people really understood the whole thing about the gay marriage, if a couple was in an emergency, and it happened all the time. It happened in the 60s and 70s, even up to sometime to this day. Because of the terms of what marriage is considered, their life partner was shut out. Their life partner was not able to go into the hospital if something were to happen. Their life partner was no longer on the insurance. So the marriage was to save that. If two people, regardless of who they are, what they look like, decide they want to love, because love ain't my thing, but it should be available for those who want it.
That's what I said. You remember I think I've said that in my YouTube video.
Yeah, that's where I got, and I really love this. I was like, this guy's we're on the same page to an extent. So.
Because I think I said in my video, I was like, because at the time I was like, I'm still not married, by the way. But that doesn't mean that I may not want, who knows? And next week I'm like, hey, you want to go to my, who knows? Like, you want to go to my wedding? I'm getting married, girl. Like, you want to come? Like, but no, who's not to say, but I would like that option if I wanted to.
And for those who are been together, again, we've seen it. It's so funny that, straights are not acknowledging our community, just like there's a disconnect from whites who don't understand the African American black struggle. They'll never understand it. They may see it, they may think they know what it is, but they'll never understand why we wanted to march. So the same thing is being said because it's a scapegoat. When will African Americans stop using white people as an excuse? Everything is not racism. Everything is not homophobic, and every heterosexual person is not homophobic. So exactly. I would prefer that people use their words and say, I don't like something because I don't understand it, or that I don't get it. And that's fine. You don't have to get it. I don't understand certain things, and I'm not a mechanic, but I'm not going to knock somebody, But again, anything with same orientation, identity, and expression is at the bottom. You don't deserve respect. You're less human, which is ironic because according to the Bible that we so-called lift up, whites who wrote that Bible said that blacks are worth, 3/5 human? Blacks, and the thing that's going around now, and I totally agree, it says blacks hate everything about slavery but Christianity. So we have to go back on that. What's your opinions on these things? I mean, do I have some Christians? Do I have,
friends that people don't like change, and I'm going to agree to that.
Yeah.
I think people do have a problem with I think just humans in general just have a problem with change, but some can adapt to it and be like, this is a change. I can see it. But some people just like what they like. And that is fine. Like, that is totally fine. And some people, you don't have to get with it. And I totally get that. But what you said is, I would respect you more if you say, I don't get it. I'll use me for example. I really, to be honest, and especially as a gay man, people are like, what? How do you not understand that? I don't fully get, trans. I don't know. I'm educating myself on it.
Right.
I don't know what it feels like to be trans. I don't know I don't know. But to better understand it, I'm going to educate myself on it.
He said, I'm not Christian, thank goodness. Right. I'm spiritual. Once I start reading, even without the whole sexuality thing, there's stuff in that Bible that just don't make sense. Timelines and miracles and things like that. They're just not making sense. If we really did our research, we would see that the Bible was used to hold us captive. The same Bible that we were praising God that was given to us when we got over here, they would beat us and praise God. They would do their little dance and praise God. But yet we're given that Bible, as a way of controlling us and poisoning us, and it has. Because I'm sorry, the higher power of my understanding, all the fanfare. What do you need a mega church for? I don't get that. And so they've taken the Christ out of Christianity. People have. I would say that. And that's my opinion. That's my thought. People have taken the love and the Christ out of Christianity and turn it into profit and turn it to a book used to browbeat people. You know.
Oh, well, yeah, because someone had said that once before. They're like what mega churches? They're like, well, it's pretty much just a business. It's nothing different than Britney Spears going on tour and making you buy a ticket to go see a show.
Mm-hmm. And it's sad that, and I always like, when you go, just say you're going to somebody's church, I feel like I'm at the club. Like, I got to pay a covered fee. This is not my home church, so why am I sowing into you? Because you'll never be able to sow back into me. But it's a one-handed thing. I get it. My church has done so much more, has done more for me. But giving back is not on the monetary basis. There are more things. I earnestly believe that your tithes is one thing. Your offering is not in monetary form, because what happened if you have no monetary form? But your life, you're being a good person, that's a value. I can give back to my church and never be able to pay for anything, but my service, my dedication, my honoring the person who I call God is my offering. Me sharing the gifts and talents that I have, I think that's offering. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, I do think that there's good churches out there, and there's churches that do give back and they come as you are and everything. But I do think that those churches, the good ones out there who really preach the word and want you to come as you are, I think they get overlooked by these huge mega churches who are looking for monetary gain. Because, like I said before, some of these churches are nothing but, like, pretty much, just like I said, if Britney Spears is putting on a show and I'm needing to buy a $200 ticket to come in.
Right.
Because it's just like too much fanfare with it. And it takes away from actually listening to the word of that. And another thing too, church is supposed to be a place of worship.
And love.
You go in and just love and worship.
Right. It says, Elle says, what happens if you don't have the funds for tithing? Does God not bless us that week? According to these churches, you've been to these churches. Maybe you haven't, but I have. And there's a particular church on down Crenshaw. Oh. They put the denomination, they make you stand. If you got $20, raise your hand. If you got $50, raise your hand. Y'all know the churches that I'm talking about, because they all up and down Crenshaw. And you sitting there like, are you serious? And so it belittles you, and so you're in a bidding war at church.
So they really, I never been to those.
Yeah, they even start having ATM machines. They have card swipes at the church now, because before it was like, oh, you don't want to give, or you come right before. Now they have like 5 and 6 offerings. Before, you knew the time the offering come, so you wait just before that time.
See, now you need to go back down south and go to a good old Baptist church,
a tent revival.
Something like that, because I've given $1 before and I've been blessed. So,
right, and that's what I'm saying. You can't put you can't put a monetary value. And then people always kill me when they say, "Oh, well, if you don't do this for me, God's not going to bless you." Sweetie, I'm gonna tell you something. Right, I'm gonna tell you something right now. There's nothing you can do that will take away the blessing of my God, of my understanding. It's already been ordained, and it's up to me to proceed. But by you bullying me by saying, "Oh, if you don't do this, you're not of God, and God's not going to bless you," you can't be of God and serve God and still spew hate at the same time. No, that's what's going on right now.
But ATMs is at the church?
Yes, they got swipe machines.
Like
they got squares at churches.
Oh.
Yes.
Like the valet?
Yes. And no? No,
I don't visit. No.
Right.
I know a con when I see a con.
Right.
No.
And again, we have the same, there's a small subgroup of people called church queens. You know about church queens, right?
No.
Oh, baby, I'm going to have to school you one. So basically, these are why would you go to a place of worship that does not honor you? I just couldn't.
Okay, so sorry. Something just came over me. That's another thing that I was going to I actually wrote something about this. It's like, well, like the whole thing with the Me Too and everything, and it's like, and then the wage experiment against Hollywood, and how like the pay is and if you work in Hollywood, do you know what I'm talking about? Like how certain people, union or non-union, that you get paid different, or this person has been working more, so you get paid whatever. And like
it's based on experience, just like a regular job.
It's a regular job. And then people are saying, well, this is a boys' club, and this man made more than me. And it's like, quit trying to be part of. My thing is like cafeteria table. Mm-hmm. All the popular people are sitting over here. They clearly don't want you to sit over there. Then don't sit over there. Right. Make your own table. Create your own stuff. Don't sit over there with them. If they don't want you, obviously they don't want you there, I guess.
Right. Perfect example, because we're going to transition to Wendy Williams, because that's what I want to talk about. So Elle says, church queens, call me later, sweetie. I will give you a whole rundown. You know church queens. You just didn't know they were called church queens.
I know church queens.
So I'm going to break you down.
That churches on Crenshaw be having
those major
like
queens.
The valets at the club.
So I want to go into Wendy Williams and her comments. And I was all ready to, read her for filth, as they say. And as a, person who is a journalist, who I had to do my research, and I had to look at the interview, or whatever the case may be. The way it was presented was, she just drugged the gays. She said so much horrible stuff, and
I feel like we'll go back and actually listen to it.
And I watched it. And it started out with her talking about Valentine's Day. It started out with Galentine's Day. And I guess there was a gay man in the audience who kind of cheered on and everything, as they do. And mind you, I'm going to say something else. If you really watch the show, what's that woman's name, honey? She's Suzanne, baby. She's So when you see them clapping, they're only doing it because they're taught, and they edit it. So it looks like they're all agreeing with Wendy Williams. Suzanne, bless her heart, baby. She's the yes lapdog.
Yeah,
that's her and damn Norman.
That's a lot of things that people don't know. Like, when you do a talk show, not just Wendy, most talk shows,
they're all that, yeah.
They normally have a production person come and tell you when to clap, when to stand up.
They show Suzanne.
When to do that, and sometimes actually when Wendy's not even there, I know from personal experience when I used to do background, when you're not even, she's not even on stage, I'm pretty sure they do in post.
It's called a pickup. They'll do it if you've ever, even if you've not in the industry or you've been in an audience, you've gone to see a show. There's a hype person with talk shows. There's an audience warm up person. So they're always going to clap and make it seem like, but if you looked at that interview or that segment, there were people who were uncomfortable with things she said. And the camera, and they quickly took them off that camera. What Wendy said is, she was talking about Galentine's Day, that it's a day for women. And she was like, gay men need to stop. She went on saying, we can't have nothing. We women. And I'm just like, sir, but but she said, gay men need to stop wearing our dresses and our heels. And then she went on to says, women can't have anything. My problem with that, and we do it as a people, I've learned it first as an African American. If you're in a room with somebody who really doesn't want you there, then don't go.
That's what we need, right? Table.
That's why it brought me on, because we need to stop looking for acceptance. What is being done, and if you are in the industry, most of the same sex, which is a bad stereotype, but it's also true. Most of us have talents, makeup artists, hair, styling, and things like that. A lot of them don't like us. And they'll use us for our talents, and we're their good girlfriends and all that kind of stuff in front.
Or like little chihuahuas in bags.
Right. But behind the door, they don't like us. And it's really sad. And again, it's not everybody. We really have to use discernment when we think about these things. But they don't like us. Just like there are certain white people who, that's my friend and all kind of stuff. And
I live right next door to black people.
The minute you make them mad, you that nigga.
Yeah.
In this case, we were that fag. And I'm just sitting there like, I feel, again, you have every right to say how you feel. I get that. But you also have to be mindful that, sweetie, we're the one that gets you together. We, as the African Americans and gays and things like that, have helped propel you to the woman you are. Well, the person you are.
Now you can leave Wendy Wendell alone. Okay, my thing with Wendy is I love Wendy. Wendy is the reason why I started going to school for communications.
Bless your heart.
I love Wendy. I love Howard Stern. I love people who are just like, tell it how it is.
Right.
Similar to me. I love Wendy. And the thing that made me mad with Wendy is like, Wendy, I felt like, how could you sit up there and say that when your whole mannerism is of a gay man?
Right.
How you do? Like, it just is of a gay man. And on top of it, Wendy, half your audience is gay men.
Right. And she should know better, because what she was saying is not...
And people call you a man.
Right. Gay men are different than trans. We don't want to be women. There's a difference. And she should know that.
That's why my sage.
Whether you're feminine or not, every gay man does not want to be a woman. Those who feel that they are in the opposite body, they transition.
And that's
they're
what you call
transgender. Right. And she should know that. How dare you say we should stop wearing... First of all, wigs were something that white European people wore. Men. If you really take a look in your history, Wendy, you should know that the Shakespeare plays were done by all men.
French.
Right.
European.
Drag is an acronym for dressing as a girl. All the plays in Shakespearean time were by boys. It had nothing to do with sexuality and identity. It just was what it was. So now you've made a killing off of the backs of these people who have gotten you together.
So many other people.
So many other people. The whole Atlanta Housewife franchise.
Well, because all the people, and especially Nene, and what they have, all of them have like a gay. It's just, you know, when Paris Williams walk around with the Chihuahua in her purse? That's why I feel like on the Housewives, all of them walk around with like a little dog in their purse.
Right,
like
right. Elle and LaToya are saying that. I don't think she said it. You know, malicious, and again, I just think it was misplaced. It should have been more thought.
No, I definitely don't think she was being malicious. And Wendy does say things like that, and she did apologize. I don't think she was being malicious.
Her apology was horrible. I'm so tired of these fake ass apologies.
I don't think she said it to be malicious, and she
just said it out of pocket.
I personally wasn't offended because I don't want to be a woman. I love being a man, which is why I am a gay man. And I don't know why people can't. That's why I got the name androgyny, because people are like, well, you look like you're built like a woman. I'm like, but I know, but I'm
right.
I'm a man.
Right. Right. I get tired of people, and they're being uncomfortable. They're not comfortable with us and who we are. I didn't wake up at whatever time I woke up this morning and ask someone's permission to express who I am. I don't understand why people have such a knack for trying to tell another person how to be. When it went down, we didn't ask. When it goes down, when I go to bed, I don't ask you how you think I should dress, how you think I should feel, and I don't care about your opinion. But why is it that only applies to sexuality, sexual orientation? Y'all out here talking about Dwayne Wade and his child, y'all need to figure out the 5 and 6 children that y'all got. That's my whole thing. Don't sit there and throw stones in the glass house. Again, that's the whole point, is if you're going to talk about parenting, talk about yours, because you don't even know where your kids are. If you want to base anything about sexuality, the only difference is that you're lusting. And if I'm not mistaken, if that's not one of the deadly sins, then correct me if I'm wrong.
There's a lot of them.
Right. But the 7 deadly ones, the main ones, lust is the main one. So if your platform is saying, I like men we like men and you like women, in order for you to know that, you've had to do what? You've had to lust. You can't pick and choose.
Well, people get drunk all the time, and is it gluttony?
Well, gluttony is not. See, that's the thing. Gluttony is not just for food. Anything you have an excess of. So if you take any hip hop rap video, you have all the 7 deadly sins right there. You have gluttony, you have lust, you have idealization, you have envy, you have pride. All that's going on in a hip hop rap video. Oh, but it's okay because it's not gay. I still so for those of us who are a little bit older, MC Hammer, right? Baby, let me tell you about that. For y'all though, you have to look it up. Y'all know about MC Hammer's Pumps in the Bump video, darling. Baby, the men were heated. Now, it was okay that the women were out there in 2-piece bikinis, shaking their titties and everything like that. The minute MC Hammer came out in all his loveliness in his Speedo, then they felt a certain way. They made that man take the video down and record another video where he was fully clothed. The man was at his house, his mansion, doing a video the way he wanted to do it, and people felt some kind of way. The men probably who ain't got no dick felt some kind of way. But it was okay for, yes.
Well, how did he look in the video?
You have to look the video up. It was lovely, baby. Every now and then I still pull up Pumps in the Bump. You can find Pumps in the Bump on YouTube. It's a little bit fuzzy because it's recorded off of the VHS. But baby, them men were bothered by MC Hammer and his hammer time.
Well, that just goes back to fear, bothered, like you're bothered by something that you don't have or something. Well, another thing too, I think that a lot of people, I will say this too, and I will speak for myself. I think a lot of times when you don't have something or when you
right, babe. You know, baby, that Pumps in the Bump video was everything. You really gonna have to look up Pumps in the Bump. You have to look up the original because there's 2 versions. But it just goes back to show that's just like we were. Go ahead.
No. When you don't have something or when you're,
he was not stuffed. He was not stuffed. Y'all know that man wasn't stuffed.
I'll let you know if he was stuffed because I'll watch it.
Right.
But when someone doesn't have something, or some of my friends have told me this before, because like I was like, not that I give a fuck, but I was like, I don't know why that person doesn't like me. They're like, either because you're like yourself and you're so comfortable in yourself. The fact that you're so comfortable living every day as yourself, that bothers someone else.
Which
and I was
kills
like, I don't give a fuck. I was like, did I take money out of their account by doing so? They're like, no, it just bothers them that you're so yourself. But I'm thinking, oh, well, okay.
It's the same thing as we y'all let Adele have it for y'all never.
Adele looks gorgeous.
She looked good when she was big. She looks good now for whatever the reason that she's lost weight. Y'all need to pick a fucking struggle. Then y'all try to come for Lizzo saying, oh, it's inappropriate. There were kids there. If that had been a Kardashian, if that had been Amber Rose, if that had been any skinny bitch that you guys idolize, Megan Thee Stallion or anything like that, it wouldn't have been no problem. The fact that that big plus size woman was comfortable in her skin, I never understood that. Being a big man myself, why do skinny bitches feel intimidated? If anything, it should be the other way around, but we don't, because we've learned to embrace our bodies. We know the people who embrace us.
Well, I will say this. I'm not the biggest. I don't connect with Lizzo. I don't get, but that's fine. I don't connect with Lizzo, but I will say this. I will come to her defense and say this. They said that they didn't like Lizzo at the Staples Center because she got her ass all out at the Staples Center. There was kids around. Let's rewind it back. Lady Gaga had her ass all out at the Yankees game. Right. So you understand about Lady Gaga had her ass. I loved Lady Gaga.
It's a pick and choose. They weren't comfortable with that big plus size woman sitting there embracing all who she was. That's just it.
Well, like I said, I prefer people to be more comfortable just saying, I don't like seeing her big ass all out. Just say you don't like seeing her big ass all out.
That's what I'm saying. Don't use
the kids being there.
Ain't nothing, because baby, the kids have seen much worse in y'all tired ass 2-bedroom home that y'all trying to snitch off of Section 8 when there's only about 70 people. They've seen that. They see you add kids on your taxes. But you're not going to talk about that, talking about the kids. Baby, the kids, please. They don't seen y'all fuck like rabbits before. Shut up.
I can't.
Right.
No, actually,
and again, and Elle, you said the same thing. You're not a Lizzo fan, but you respect, honey, if you like it, I love it.
Yeah. I mean, good for her. I'm just not a Lizzo fan, but I will come to her defense and say this. I prefer when someone says, I don't like you because of this, or I don't like this because of that. Don't go around. If you're trying to go to the store, go to the store. Don't go over here. Go to the store.
Right.
Oh, but don't just say you didn't like her because it's kids and that's inappropriate. The kids can literally flip on the TV or YouTube and watch way worse.
Right, and that's the whole thing. They always want to say the gay agenda goes back. But like I said, people, when your light is shining, it feels it takes away from them. I graduated from Antioch University on a 9-month program. When I found out, I said, oh, baby, I went and ordered me a cap and gown. I bedazzled that bitch. And when they called my name, when I pumped across the stage with my parasol. Do you know people the day before? Oh, and my professor called me that morning. He was like, well, some people are uncomfortable. I said, can I get the receipt from them? Because I didn't ask them, were they comfortable with the way that I'm going to represent myself? It didn't hurt nobody.
You did your degree.
Exactly. Now, mind you, it was only a 9-month program, 12 units. Honey, imagine, I keep telling, if I had got me a master's associate, baby, I'd have had helicopters coming out the sky like Grace Jones. But again, it was an act of me being me. And the thing that I got from that, there were people getting their master's and their doctorate. After the graduation ceremony came up, they came to me. It was like, we thank you, because they were so serious. They had done all this work. Enjoy yourself. And again, mind you, you're supposed to wait for the cheer and the applause until everyone's name called. Of course, my name being Anderson Bell, I went up first. And baby, I pumped with my parasol, and get into it because the parasol is for sun and an umbrella is for the rain. But I pumped. I didn't ask nobody. I didn't say, can you do this for me? I didn't say, I need your opinion. I did it because I wanted to make me feel good. When I went to bed that night, I didn't ask anyone's opinion. And when I woke up and got to UCLA to pump across the stage, I didn't ask anyone's opinion. Why is that okay to tell someone? Because again, hell, I told you I was taken away from, my sister's wedding. Oh, because you're going to be extra. And I told you what her color was. But why is that okay? Right, Jermaine, you already know. If there had been a master's degree, baby, I'd have did the whole. That's what I'm planning to do for my 50th birthday, honey. I thought when I did for my 40th, but I'm giving you Grace Jones, Chariots, and all, and I don't care who has anything to say about it. Oh, baby, that scene from Boomerang, I've always wanted to do.
Grace Jones.
And you saw the videos, honey. I pumped, and I showed exactly in all this loveliness. I pumped down RuPaul's stage. I pumped down other people's stage. I represent myself, no matter what side's going on. Why should it bother somebody?
Well, that's my ministry. Be happy. Like, life is really, really short. Just be happy. And if someone else is walking around doing something that may feel uncomfortable to you, first off, life is uncomfortable itself.
Right.
So if someone's being happy, let everyone be happy. And why is everyone so fucking angry? I don't get that. There's been a shift in the last years. Everyone's just so angry.
For no reason, and going into transition on a conversation, I'm getting this whole, why is everyone attacking anyone of Asian descent and they think they got the coronavirus? Like, that's not cool.
No, I've been flying lately a lot. Okay. So I've been wearing, I did not wear because of whatever. I just wear because I'm a bitch and trying to get sick.
Right, but what I'm saying is that people are viciously attacking or making assumptions that they
did see that video last night about people saying it's coming from. That's not right.
And it's like, first of all, there are so many different nationalities of Asian descent. If I'm not mistaken, it's from what? It's coming from.
It's China.
It's China. So you have people who are angry at Vietnamese just for being Asian.
Well, oh gosh. Some people aren't smart enough to know that just because someone may look Asian, that they're not from Japan.
Right.
They're not from China. They could be from, there's, like you said, there's so many different people. If y'all would get the fuck off social media all day writing mean comments and actually go to the library and actually fucking read.
Or talk to somebody. Because why, as a person of color, would you inflict that same hatred? We're trying to step away. And again, it's 2020. Stop using something else they were saying. The gay thing is being brought over by white people. That right there kills me. That, when I first came out, it's like, oh, you can't be black and gay. Some dude literally told me that I couldn't be black and gay at the same time.
I've been doing it for 31 years.
And I'm like, okay. And I was like 16. I'm like, okay. And I realized how hateful that is. Again, it goes back to, if you have any kind of sense and you've learned anything, I did my thesis paper on Frederick Douglass's learning to read and write. I also compared it to the allegory in the cave, where you have all these people sitting there and they only know one thing. And the minute someone comes in and tells them it's something different, there's more out there, then they're scared. So why are you doing that to somebody else? Like, we do that to ourselves as a people. There's more to life than what was given to us. Stop blaming people, other people. Yes, slavery happened. There's no denying that. But when are we going to stop saying that anything that goes wrong in a person's life, oh, it's the white man? Or anytime something goes wrong, oh, it's a gay agenda. Again, I grew up seeing nothing but heterosexuality, bad heterosexuality, and that didn't change an ounce in who I am.
Oh, can we play
5 minutes? Okay.
Can we play the game?
Yes, I'm trying to.
Sorry.
So that's okay. We have about 5 minutes left. Again, thank you for tuning in, because this is a new show. This is the new format. Look out for our YouTube page. I'm going to have more videos. I'm going to do man on the street videos. I have a section that I would like to call Inspire, where I bring someone in and interview them. It's a lot going on with Agree to Disagree Talk. It has not left. I think, the people who were there, I thank Jake. But, it's a new dawn. It's a new day. let me see. How can I? So thank you again. Thank you to Trevor David Hutchin and a kid from Brooklyn Production for the sponsorship for this show. I'd like to give a big shout out again to Gabe, who is the owner of Prestige Barber College in Hollywood. Give a shout out to my barber, Mr. Phil, who hooks me up every Tuesday when I go. Thank you for that. Next week, I will do a show about fathers and the one-sidedness of the system. It's the conversation sparked from a gentleman in Florida who was a DJ who raised a child up into 10 months without the mother care. Come to find out that child was not biologically his, so the courts gave the child back to the biological father. That's very detrimental. And so I want to talk about that. I will have two fathers in the studio with me next week to discuss that, because obviously I ain't nobody's father. I may be somebody's daddy, but I ain't their father. So, with that being said, oh my God. I don't know, because it's like it just flows.
We don't play the game.
Okay. Because I'm just like, it was this, but.
Yes. But. Maybe.
M-A-Y-B-E. Let's go with maybe.
So, what we can ask, if there are people watching, you can ask us a question that has to do with the yes, no, or maybe answer. That's the game. It's the little buttons right here that I have. Here's the no button. And it was just as a buffer to things like that. Like someone would ask me, like, will I ever do drag again?
Maybe.
Something as simple as that.
Have I ever done drag? Would I like to do drag?
Maybe.
See? Something as simple as that. So, again, this is the game that we had. If we have 5 minutes, any questions, any comments, any concerns, thank you again for your continued support. I was off for 3 weeks, but now, like Lil Kim say, I'm back with the jump off. Thank you, Mr. Adrian Androgny, for stepping in and being the guest host. I hope to have you on more often.
We'll see. Call me whenever.
So do you still like...
Yes.
I don't like boobs. I love titties. So that do be a different. Boobs is A cup. I like them too, but I like titties. You know that.
Do I like titties?
Producer Paul, I know your answer. They're pretty, especially a pretty titty. Elle wants to ask that question because she know we met because I liked her titty. She got pretty titties. So... How much time do we have?
We're just about to.
Okay, so we are just about to go. Thank you again. I'll have this up. The audio for all the shows will be up on all the streaming sites come Thursday. You can like to listen to it. It'll be on my page as well as Agree to Disagree Talk. Submit those questions, those comments, those concerns. Even if you got to read, I've been taking a couple of reads lately, but I'm grown and I can do it. So again, thank you again. Thank you to Trevor David Hutchins and a kid from Brooklyn Production for sponsoring this show. I will see you guys next week. Thank you again, Mr. Adrian Androgny.
Thank you for having me.
This was a good experience. I'm glad to get back on the air. There's so much more that I have on the back burner. But again, you'll never tell nobody all your business until it's done. So.
I'm glad you taught me that.
Really?
You taught me that the other day. And so some other things are in brewing for me as well. And I was like, man, let me sit on that because let me keep it to myself. Because I feel like the more you tell, I feel like someone like cast something and just like washes it away.
Right. And then if it does, this is the Hollywood business. Things don't work out.
It's true.
So you really have, that's something that I was taught early when I started acting. I was so happy. I would announce every audition. And then my friends was like, you're going to get tired of that because when the audition doesn't happen, then what are you going to say? And so I learned that again. My friends taught me that. Nicholas Few. There was a couple of other actor friends who taught me that. But then also you do projects and then you move on. Exactly. There are projects I've done that's like comes out a year and a half later. Sometimes it doesn't. I don't mind, as long as, you pay me.
I've done projects before that have not came out, have not seen the light of day.
Right. But you got paid.
Oh, yep, of course.
Right. So that's the one thing you do. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you for your contributions, your comments, your concerns. This is the Agree to Disagree Talk episode number 16, and we are out.